Hi. I should flip them around. There we go. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm on time for a change. I'm even early. Yay. How's everybody doing this week? I'll wait and see if there's anybody pops up, and then I'll flip it over. Let's see who's here. Cards tonight. How exciting. There's somebody. Be sure to say hi so I know who's here. There's another somebody. There's somebody else. Hello. Hi, Karen. It's Wednesday night and it's card night. I've sent the kids to bed early tonight. That way they won't be noisy. Hi, Linda. How are you two ladies doing? You work at the schools. How's that going? It's been a bit crazy at my end. Somebody's dropped in, dropped out. We got 1 minute. Hi, Marg. Hi, Marion. Hi, Jenna. Jenna, this is becoming a weekly thing. Either you're really bored or you're interested in paper craft. Don't worry, I'm not going to recruit you. All right, I might just, you've seen enough of my face. Working from home, Karen, yep. I'm going to flip the camera around and put it on my block. Hopefully it won't be as shaky as it was last week, apart from at the moment because it's sitting in my hands, so that's not a great thing. Anyway, I'm going to flip it and let's get the show on the road. Today we're going to do 2 masculine themed cards. You can change the sentiments, no worries, but yeah, I thought we'll do something a bit blokey tonight. That's great news, Linda. All right, flip it, flip it. Okay, so we're going to use 2 different card stamp sets this week. Oh, look at that. All right, hopefully I'm not going to headbutt it. All right, let's get this show on the road. So, my first card's going to feature this Dreams Take Flight stamp set. So it's a stamp and thin cut set. So it's got thin cuts for the clouds, the tidal and the plane. Ooh, I've nearly forgot those little critters. I need those little things. I'll pop them on there. I've got children sneaking in at the door. They're in trouble. All right, so that's what we're featuring. They're in the current catalogue, which retires at the end of this month. So, where are they? Ooh, Uncle Peter's now going cranky at them. It's here, in here somewhere, in the book. This one, so with the thin cuts and the stamps, it's $39.50. You can buy the stamps on their own for $26.50. I'm going to attempt this layout too on the weekend to show you, see what you reckon. I actually think they've done that. That's a smaller layout, like almost looks like an 8x8 by the size of the plane, but I'll extrapolate into a 12x12, no worries. All right, I should show you what the second set is that we're going to be using. I'll just get in and get it out of the way. The other one we're going to use is the Seize the Day scrapbooking stamp and thin cuts. So it's $51.50, and we're going to be using that one today as well. So, all right, let's get moving. Hey, quiet in the peanut gallery, thanks. The other stamp set that we'll be using on this card, I'm giving you a sneak peek. This is the stamp set. It's the stamp of the month for May. Beautiful sentiments there. I really like it. So my first card I used Happy Birthday. This one today I'm going to use Time to Celebrate. So let's get rock and rolling. Throw that away. Go away. Okay. First up, I will show you the card. So you're going, oh no, not more sponging. Yes, we've got more sponging. But it's fun. So I've just got a plane there. It's 3D mounted. I've got a couple of little clouds there. I've used the thin 3D foam just to give it a little bit of dimension, and that small cloud is straight on. I've used Carolina ink again, but you could use something, you could mix it with a bit of pewter, Carolina and pewter, and do some stormy clouds if you wanted to. I've just done a basic sentiment on there. This isn't my idea. I've stolen it off somebody else. I do have lots of ideas, but I just can't get them down at the moment. But we'll get there. I'll show you some originals by me soon, I'm sure. Okay, so, ooh, that was clever. Inside the card, I've also sponged it in cloud, but I've done a lighter shade. And then in the middle, there's a sheet of acetate. So I've stamped, I'll show you, take you through the whole setup of it. It'll just sit there like that. Ooh. Okay. I've sponged clouds here. I've stuck a thin cut cloud on, and I've stamped in black ink. So I'm going to take you through. I've pre-cut everything. I'll do a little bit of magic and it'll just magically appear, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with my acetate first. And I've got my card base. So my card base here, it's a black card base. I've just cut it from cardstock. It's 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And that's a standard card size, or that's our standard card size. I know what I did forget. There's always something. I'm so naughty. I need my cheek. I'll get rid of the white because I need my lines. Okay, sorry about that. It's always something. Can't take me anywhere. All right, so I've got these two pieces here. Now I want those slightly smaller than the card. So I've made those, they're 4 inches high and they're 3/4 of an inch wide. And I've scored at, well, depending on which way you look at it, either at 1/4 or 1/2 on both. And I've got two pieces there, and what they're gonna do, both of them are gonna sit together like that. And in the middle is gonna be the acetate. And then I'm gonna stick that in the center of my card, and then my white cardstock will cover that. All right, so the easiest thing for me to do is to don't be stingy on the tape runner. I'm also going to use some liquid glass because we don't want this thing coming off. Oh, don't get stuck. Okay. Now, if anybody's having any troubles with these, I've just had one that clogged up and I couldn't get it unclogged. I soaked it in a, took the lid off and soaked it in a cup of water for a day. Like I started off with warm water and it just unclogged it nicely. So if you have any troubles with that clogging up, that's the way to fix it. All right, I'm going to do one side first and I'm just going to butt the acetate up along. Now, I'm not sure if I gave you the measurements for the acetate, but the acetate is the same size as the cardstock that I'm going to put as to line it. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to do this one and just match it up nicely, but I don't want to stick them those two together because they're going to actually stick separate. That's that. And then I'm going to get my cardstock and hope for the best. No. Line it up with the middle. So you might find it's easier to do one side and then the other. More fingers and thumbs. All right. Stick one side down. You'll possibly find the easiest way to get the other side stuck down is to actually close the card. There you go. Now, one thing to watch with acetate is either getting sticky things on it or fingerprints or scratches. So I've got a few of those there, and this is misbehaving. It's always the way. Whenever you've got an audience, something plays up. Anyway, we'll pretend it didn't play up. Okay, moving on. So I'm going to do a quick sponging. So I've done some pre-work there for you, so that's okay. So if you look at my card, the front there is darker than the inside. So I'm going to do the darker and then I'll do the lighter and show you, but I'll only do half the front and then we'll move on. So I've got my Carolina ink, I've got my Carolina sponge, I've got my template that I used last week for the fairies. It's very much the same technique. So I start at the top, hold my template on and slide the ink along the top of the template along. And my template is not quite as long as what the card is, which is fine because I get options. Right, now I'm going to do use the second row to do my line. And you'll probably notice I ink up like every 2 or 3 sponges. Might be more like 4 or 5. And if you put it on and you go, I got too much white there, that's okay. We can go back over. I did do like a white angle there, so I'm going to go this way, turn my stencil on an angle. There's no right or wrong here, folks. Just have a go. Alright. So I said I wasn't going to bore you with the whole thing, but I did. So that's for the front. Then what I do is, while we're sitting on the front, so you'll notice that sometimes I use black and sometimes I use intense black. So I use intense black when I'm colouring in with markers, and I'll use regular black just when I'm for straight stamping, that I don't have to touch anything with any alcohol. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment that I've decided for the front. So this one I'm going to do different. It's called Life is a Grand Adventure. So that applies to anything. As with any stamp that I've never used before, I always stamp off. And I'm just going to, I don't even know if that was straight then. It'll do. That'll do, donkey. Okay, in that stamp set with the plain, it's got a really cute little, I don't even know where it's ended up, over here. It's got like a little flourish type thing. So I actually just stamped that in 2nd generation black. So stamp on, stamp, and then just in the 2nd gen, I'm just going to put like a little jet stream for my plain. Alright, oh, birdies went on that side. So straight black of those, just up the top like that. Now I have pre-stamped a couple of clouds. I got Colby to help me with that. He had to stamp and he had to cut and I stamped. So the small one I'm just going to put straight on. And then the bigger one I'm going to put on with some 3D foam. This is the thinner stuff, so you've got thick or thin. And I've used too much. And I've stamped these with pewter ink. not quite black. Right, I have pre-cut the stamp, the thin cut. It is easier with these to stamp than cut, but I just wanted to show you, and I need a blank one for the back, so I've just pre-stamped those. You don't need me to show you how to do that. This one I'm going to use the thick foam tape. You can be as stingy or as generous as you like. Just make sure none's showing. So then I'm just going to stick that little beastie on. Oi. That's the front done. Right, if you wanted to, you could go around the outside and just run it around with a bit of blue, or you could use a bit of pewter, or you could use a bit of black. Doesn't really matter, it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to set that aside because that's our card front, and then I'm going to show you the difference with the sponging for the inside. Have you noticed I haven't cleaned this at all? Because I'm using the same colour, I don't need to. So did you notice that? So tap, tap, tap on the ink pad, a little tap on the paper, and then I'm going to sponge. And it's seriously, it's just a really light, delicate touch because I don't want it too powerful. And then because you'll write your message over this. And these sheets, you're going to do the whole lot. Keep forgetting to tap off. When you get down to the bottom, it's up to you if you do another row or you just give it a light little zhuzh. You can see that's a lot lighter than that. Okay, that's it with the blue. Put that to the side. That's it with the stencil, because I've pre-done one. Right, before I stick that on, this one on, or one of these on, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So I said I had a big long sentiment. I opted to put my sentiment down the bottom. And I think, if I have a look, I use black ink. Straight black. Again, I haven't used this stamp, so I'm going to season it. And I've taken too long and it's gone a bit bubbly. You can see it through the block that it goes a little bit bubbly. It's sat there for too long because I clicked around. So I'm stamping this sort of offset to the right. That's the right, yes. And that's just so that my plane will go up there and it's all good. So on my original, I've got a cloud in the sky. So he's just sitting flat, so I'm going to stick that on while I'm there. And I'm going to stick this down. I find it easier to line it up from an outer edge. And it'll sit flush against your black piece. Oi, it's misbehaving. Might have to go back and fix that little beast. Oh, don't put my clouds upside down. Okay, so that's that. Right, so our next job is to put our plane on, and you think, oh my goodness, how am I going to stick that on? So a little bit of magic. So I've actually got my plane, this, because I've got 3 planes. I've stamped that one. I'm going to flip it over. And then what I've done, I've stamped some 2nd generation and 1st generation in pewter. So some are stamped, some are not, just because I wanted to show you the stamp. All right, so I'll use pewter ink, not black, because I wanted a lighter colour. It's just a little bit of tap, tap, tap. Now something I found, when I do 1st and 2nd generation, if I do a tap tap on the ink and a light press on the paper, just almost a kiss, and then a stamp, I get a better image than stamping on and then stamping again, if you get me. So it's a mixture of 1st and 2nd gen. Remember we did these techniques last year. That's it. Oh, I just threw my card away. Whoops. That's all right. We'll have this one. I haven't married it right in the middle, and I think I might have played around while the liquid glass was there. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to arrange the clouds and stick the clouds to the back of the plane, because I've got nothing to stick the plane to the, I don't want to see where the plane is being stuck on the plastic. Do you get what I mean? So something here sticks, oh sorry, the plane sits on the outside and then I stick the clouds to the back. I can't even remember how I did it. I only did it yesterday. All right, so I'm going to tape up my plane. And just excuse the, not right. And then I'm going to stick my plane on. One of my clouds, that one there, is stuck on with thin foam tape. Just a smidge. It's all about creating layers. So he's like coming out of the clouds. And then I'm going to flip over and stick. So anywhere on this plane is where I can stick a cloud. So I can put a line of tape there. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to put a backing over the plane so that you won't see the glue or the tape. So don't be scared. Do some light ones, do some dark ones. You can flip it over and have a look, because he's going to be flying up into the clouds, up out of the clouds. See? In, out, underneath. I only put 4, I think, behind it. I might put just one more big one. Up there. These are all going to be different. Don't forget that. It's unique. Then all I do to hide the tape and make sure that the tape that doesn't stick to the back is just stick a plane down. So the clouds I had, I didn't need all the ones I needed, but I got Colby to cut the whole lot, so that's cool. So stick that down, and you've sort of, it's a bit like hiding your workings I know why that didn't stick right. I've got too big a gap. So yeah, stick the front on. Now you could certainly change the sentiments around if they're too fluffy for you. You can make it happy birthday, it can be anything, happy retirement, happy Father's Day, any of those. But I thought, oh well, it's nice to do something for as a masculine theme. So that one's that. Cool? Just going to pop up, see if anybody's got any questions. I'm going to pack this little section up for the next card. Rid of that. Anybody got any questions? Hi Robin, hi Dawn, hi Renee, hi Donna. Oh yeah, the kids were having fun. I think Peter was tormenting them. Whoops. All right, they're quiet now, so they must be in bed. Hi Andrea, hi Carol. Oh, and I'm wiggling because I'm scrolling through Facebook. Okay, next one. So every month CTMH has does recognition for people's sales and whatnot, and my presidential director does that for her team. Well, she sent me one last month. I think it was last month, and I really love the card, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is the card. Doesn't look much, does it? But it's a trifold card. It's got a couple little cute techniques on it. You write your message on the back like that. Or it's an easel card, not a trifold. And then the easel with a bit of foam behind that pops up, so if you can see. And then I can't remember what the technique's called. I think it's called like a stage light or something like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm showing you a bit of inking lately, but it's just to highlight our stamp sets because they're so amazing at the moment. Just could be a nice pick-me-up card for somebody. Unfortunately, the cutout that I've used is no longer available, but I don't think, I'm not sure, there's other things that you could use. You could just use a circle if you wanted to. So yeah, I'm going to take you through that one. So to start with, we've got a piece of 4 1/4, so standard card width, by 12. And you're going to score at 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and then whatever's left there, which will be, what's that, 4 1/4, 8 1/2, yeah, 3 1/2, will be this section. But that doesn't matter. You really don't know, because one, this bit tucks up inside and goes blue, done. And the other, it's just an easel, all right? So, bits to do. Where's my stuff? I've got my stamps. It's like making a cake. I've got all these, oh goodness, I've got all these bits to show you. I preload to save time. All right, we're going to be using sapphire ink, we're going to be using intense black, and we're also going to be using the regular black. We're going to be using alcohol markers. So the colours that I'm using today are Citrus Blend in our Tri Blends, Brown Grey Blend, Dark Red Blend, and Ice Blue Blend. So that's those. We're going to be using that stamp set. I've pre-cut a little bit of stuff. That's the scallop circle that I was talking about that we don't have anymore. I've pre-cut the white bits, so that's for this bit and that. So one's going to be blank. If you wanted to, there is absolutely nothing stopping you from drawing a nice little border around the outside. If I had a pen handy, I'd do it. There's a piece of printed paper from Seize the Day. So it's just got waves on it, stripy on the background. I've pre-cut this piece. It's 1 1/4 by 4. Obviously this piece here is 4 by 4, 4 by 4, 4 by 4. So I'll do a couple little, first step will be my thin cutting. So I'm going to, actually I might even colour in before I do that. I'm going to stick this down because I didn't thin cut my boat yet. It's easier to colour those in when they're still in there on a bigger sheet of paper. Did I put enough glue on that? Possibly not, because I'm going to thin cut it. So stick that one down. Before I get too excited, I'll colour in my boat that I've pre-stamped. Okay, so where is my boat? That's it there. So I like to start with, for the sail, I'm going to colour in my darker colours first. So I've pre-stamped this with intense black ink. So I'm using the medium yellow first, and then I'm going to colour the rest in with the light yellow. Look at my table wobbling. You don't have to colour it in yellow, you can do whatever colour you like. The waves down the bottom, I'm just going to colour those in blue, but I'm just going to do a little light. A light touch. For the boat, again, I'm going to colour in the darker bits with my medium. And then I'm just going to rough colour with the light. I don't care if there's a few white bits appearing, doesn't matter. Then I'm going to use the grey. Now I'm just going to use the light end for this, and I'm just going to put like a shadow on the sail. That'll do. Not a lot of fussing. Alright, so I'm ready for thin cutting. I'm just going to put these to the side because I've still got to colour in my lighthouse, but I'm going to do the thin cutting first because it doesn't have any thin cutting. So just make myself a bit of room, grab my cattle bug. I really need to get me one of the new CTMH. One of the new CTMH ones. Hang on. Get it the right way. Alright, so I've got a magnetic plate on this. I love the magnetic plate. It does get a bit messy though, but that's all right. Okay, so the boat, it's great for lining up. Oi. It's great for lining things up and things not moving. So this is likely to wobble a bit and creak and crunch and groan. It's old and well loved. And the next one's going to push it to its limits. So there's my boat. It beats fussy cutting. I don't mind fussy cutting. And then, where's my other bit that I had to cut? Oh, I've got to put the whole thing in. So what I do, I push, I don't want to wind the whole thing through. So I'm going to push most of it out and just have the bit hanging out. Now, I've purposely pushed this towards the bottom. I don't want it perfectly centered. I want it in the middle, but I'll probably put it about 1/4 inch up from the bottom. Now I get my lid. Oh, I keep putting my lid on my stamp set. Who's laughing at me? Yeah, I know. All right, so I'm going to stick that down. Now, because it's 2 layers, even though I've got a metal shim in, I'm going to have to give this a couple of squeezes because I'm asking a lot of it. So to be sure, I'll wind it through a couple of times. Ideally, I probably should do it up with the plate. But it came through, yay! Did you see? That's terrible. I've just, oh, here we go again. My ink from the B plate has come off onto the top of that. I might be able to get it off with a rubber. Anyway. Oh, there's always something. Okay, just pretend that's not there. All right, I'm going to stick my what do you call it? Bodon. Oh, I'm having a really blonde night tonight. So you don't need to put tape over everything. You just need a bit of tape, possibly along the bottom, and then a little bit over the yellow, and then you're going to stick that on. Right, so that's that. Guess what else I forgot to do? Sponging. Why did we need the sapphire? You just need a little bit of sapphire to rub over the cloud, the wavy paper. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's probably a good way to hide my mistake. So I've used sapphire. You could use any paper, any colour. Sort of hides my mistake. Go a bit heavier over there. Happy days. All right, while I'm playing around with this, I'm going to use some 3D foam. Go away. Get this out of the way. I'm so not used to having this much space to work in. All right, don't be stingy here either. I'll put 3 bits of foam tape there. And I'm just not going to put it upside down. Just an even distance in from the edge and up. Now if you wanted to, you could sponge the outer edge of that. I didn't, but I could. While we're going to stick our plain piece on the back. I might, that's the way you meant to do it, not as an afterthought. So you'd write your message on the back there. All right, we're on the downhill run, let me tell you. So I'm going to show you this, I think it's called Stage Light or something. So it's very similar to a lot of the sponging things we've been doing. It's a sort of a masking technique. So I am going to stamp my lighthouse in intense black, but I only need to stamp half of it, but I ink the whole thing up anyway. And I've used the crack in the rocks at the bottom as my guide. It's there. So then I don't need this anymore. Then I'm going to get my post-it notes. Remember, everybody needs post-it notes in their kit. And you'll probably, unless you've got the long ones, you'll need 4 of these standard ones. I'm just going to line it up with the edge of the light covering the outer edge of the lighthouse. And the reason I say you need 2 is because the little ones aren't quite long enough. Now the yellow I'm using tonight is Lemonade. It's our new yellow that came out this year. It's quite cheery and vibrant and all right, so Lemonade. Now you're going to go light, darker to lighter. So it's just the same technique I always use. Dab, dab, circle, circle. And for this one, I'd probably only ink up once and then drag the colour out. You want the most of the colour down this end towards the lighthouse. Now, if you really want to be cheeky and you feel confident enough, you could use your this sponge to colour in the windows in the lighthouse so they're yellow, or you could grab your pen and hope it's close enough match. I think I need just a little smidge more. Yellow, okay. How cool is that? It's pretty cool technique, I reckon. There's one that they've used the old lady, whatever we called her, Fern, and she's standing on a stage and she's got wooden boards, and then she's got like this spotlight coming down, and then they've got a circle that she's standing in, and yeah, it looks like she's, you know, in the spotlight. So that's pretty cool. All right, we're going to colour in our lighthouse. So again, the medium, and then I always double check this light. I suppose you're probably over me colouring in. So many cool sets though. Hopefully this weekend I'm going to work on a on the spinner, the cuckoo clock one. The girls and I have also been talking about having an all-day event. I'm not sure if you'd be interested in that or not, as in like we'll do a video every hour on the hour and show you a technique or a layout or a card or what we like best in the new catalogue which goes live. If you're interested in that, be sure to comment, and I'll get on to the girls. It'll be in early May. Oh, got to do the top. Here's a tip for alcohol markers. You don't have to colour all the way to the edge because the pen will get there eventually. So again, I'm going to do the rocks. So I've got my medium colour there again. And then I run the light colour over it, and it just sort of just blends it quite nicely. You get that depth. It's as simple as that. Now we are going to stamp Shine Your Light, and this is where we're going to use just the straight black. Now I'll show you. So that one there I stamped with the intense black, and this one here I stamped with the normal black. And you can see the intense black is a little bit thicker and it tends to coat the stamp. So if you're doing sentiment, sometimes it won't show up as crisp, whereas the straight black, when you use that, it will show up a bit better. So that's sort of why. I only use the intense black if I'm colouring usually, but I was being lazy. All right, now we're getting ready to finish this card. So one thing to go, we've just got to stick this in the middle. And we are done, diddly-yarn. Not a gem in sight, not a bit of glitter. Very blokey or very inspirational. We all need a little pick-me-up sometimes. We need somebody to tell us that we're doing okay. Give it a good squeeze. And we're done. Cool. I'm going to flip the camera around, see what comments everybody's left, see if I can answer any questions if anybody's got any. If I actually lose you, thanks for joining me. We're really loving being able to share this with you this way. This is what we've been training for. So I'm just going to grab that. What stamp set is that? Okay, Dawn, that stamp set is the Seize the Day Scrapbooking. That's this one. Okay, it is 51.50. But yeah, that lighting effect has so many possibilities. It's really, really cool. I love it. I love masking. Okay, well, if nobody's got any further comments, hi June. That'll be it for me for tonight. I'm a bit sweaty. Hang on, I'll flip the camera around. Look at me, working under pressure. So next class is, I've got cricket class, just basic. It's a basic class on Friday night, just learning how to weld. You actually don't have to have a cricket to come in and watch. Obviously, it makes sense if you've got the design space application, but, you know, if you're thinking about a cricket or something like that, I can show you what you can do with it. And then Sunday, we'll have a scrapbooking layout, and I hope to do a boyish, masculine-ish themed, beachy themed layout. So, okay, happy Wednesday. Bye.